All right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining all of us either online or here in the auditorium. Believe it or not, summer's just about over. Okay. It was weird. Today, I sat down and started pulling my suit jackets back out, and it happened to be 92 degrees out. So that was a hard reality to kind of swallow. Going over this presentation with my wife, who helps me not make a fool of myself. She goes, "What's going to be your, what's going to be your intro?" And when I started this morning, I was kind of running some ideas past Mr. Hoffman back there, and we got axed. We could not use the Hulk Hogan intro theme. I could not get a rental on a smoke machine either. So this is my intro. My wife, I don't know if she'd be proud of it, but that's what we're going to go with. Go ahead, Ev. So tonight, our goal of this presentation is to prepare you, the parents, the guardians, for the college application process. Some of you have had a child go and apply to college and go off to college. Some of you, this will be your first. Some of you, this will be your only. This process, the system that we use here at North, is to make that as simple as possible. My goal is to take a lot of the stresses off of you as the family unit and put them on my shoulders, but while also maintaining communication. The goal, parents and guardians will be able to understand the responsibilities of the student, the parent guardian, the counseling department, and myself, Mr. Bilstein or Mr. B. A lot of your kids will call me that. Go ahead, Ev. So tonight's agenda, I'm going to do some introductions of some people around the school that will assist you. I'm going to go through some of our graduate profiles of what it looks like when your student or your child graduates from North, what it's been over the last 5 years. Just an overview of the process, components of the college app, test submission, FAFSA, and then we will do a Q&A session at the end. Go ahead. So first of all, when you're working with the college applications, for the most part, you're going to work with the counseling department. Ms. Pearson in the top left, she is our counselor for last names A through K. What she does, mainly social emotional. She will work with your child's schedule. She's there to support. Mr. Chiza, same type of deal. He's going to be last names L through Z. I'm in the bottom right. A lot of you already know me. Like I tell your children is, please, I got their names down. I know them. Please do me a favor and introduce yourself, because it's tough for me to keep all those names straight. So we have 160 kids. That means 160 families to try to keep faces, names, things like that. I just ask, hey, tell me who you are and who your child is. It'll come back very quickly. And then on the bottom left is Miss Zizin. She is our assistant in the counseling area. She is the person that keeps the trains running. She's the person that will yank me out of whatever shenanigans I work myself into throughout the day, so I'm on time for you guys. Please, when you call, that's who you're going to get. Please keep her happy, because she keeps me in line, okay? Go ahead. Okay, here is our kind of profile of a graduate from North Catholic. Sitting around 150 to 155 students, typically, okay? Majority of our students do go on to four-year institutions. A couple of you, I've talked about how we've gone different routes, all right? I came into my first class was the class of 2024. I put the asterisks by the classes that I have assisted and I've been a part of. With some of the information, some of the stuff is missing from like the class of 22, and there's not a whole lot there. But as 24 and 25, and I will continue this with 26, everybody is accounted for, okay? We've had an increase in interest in two-year programs, mainly through community college programs, and CCBC has an amazing, that's Community College of Beaver County, amazing aviation program up there. So they are able to go there, do a two-year program, get their commercial pilot's license, or go into an air traffic control program. We had a big push for that this year. And also, there are students that, I try to help identify with the family unit that maybe four-year schools aren't exactly what they're looking for right away for any type of reason. And the idea is to get them started and continue the education. One of my main goals is to stay away from like gap years, things like that. Even if you're not a full-time student at a community college, I want you to continue taking classes. I think we all can agree in this room, you take time off, you're going to lose certain skills, okay? Yes, if you add up the numbers, they do not equal the graduate numbers. We do have like junior hockey, things like that, that we put in there. I just didn't put it in the presentation. So every student is accounted for. Go ahead, Ev. So from last 5 years, the most applied to schools here at North Catholic are Penn State and the University of Pittsburgh, resounding. These are the schools that our kids are most familiar with, mainly because of location. The other one is they're familiar with it. You guys, a lot of you went to these schools, so they're comfortable with it. And we apply there a ton. All right. Duquesne and Dayton are typically our smaller, like Catholic schools that we work with a lot here, so that the students are more apt to apply to them. Ohio State has taken off a whole lot lately, mainly because of what they've been doing with us for the cost of going to an out-of-state institution. Some of the ladies out front mentioned University of Kentucky. We've had a huge push there with Kentucky. A lot of it is the dorm, the campus life, and some of the programming that they have brought apart. The one that kind of throws me off a little bit is the Robert Morris one up there. Our application to acceptance to enrollment numbers with Robert Morris is very low, but I think the students being comfortable applying there because it is near, they get on there. And then Virginia Tech is a big one also for us as far as our engineering students, very engineering specific school. But Virginia Tech does pull a lot of our engineering students. So when we look at these things, I try to analyze them, I try to break them down, figure out why students are applying there, why are they applying, and why are they going there, okay? I'm hoping in a couple of years, if any of you have younger children, I will have retention numbers, okay? So we can see which students go to, when they go to school, do they go past a year? Do they go past 2 years? Do they graduate? So we're building that out right now. It's just very small data sizes for you guys, but hopefully in the future, you guys can take a look at it. Go ahead. Most attended schools. So it shouldn't be a surprise. Duquesne, Penn State, Pittsburgh, and Ohio State were big ones. Dayton was a very, very popular school up until this year. We had a lot of applications. We only had one student go to Dayton, my apologies, to Dayton. Kentucky, we had a big run on it this year. Though kind of the anomaly up there is John Carroll. John Carroll, over the last 5 years, previous 4 years, we had 5 students attend there, okay? And we didn't have a lot of interest in it. This year, we have 11 students attending John Carroll University. So I went from 5 to 16 in an 8-month application period. So they're doing something right out there. Part of it, is I think their exposure to it. I think Division III athletics has a lot to do with it, and then the financial aspect for John Carroll as well. Virginia Tech and Slippery Rock kind of close out our top 10. Like I said, Virginia Tech is big on the engineering side. Slippery Rock, we've had a lot of growth in either a nursing program or an education program, and Slippery Rock makes total sense for both of those. So, go ahead. This is the one I love to show our students, is the matriculation by state. I'm sure you've had the discussion at some point in your parenthood of where they want to go to school and what's the number one place they want to go to. Florida. They want to go to North Carolina. They want to go to South Carolina. Odds are you took them on a vacation there and they had a blast. If you look at our numbers, 62% of our students stay in Pennsylvania or Ohio. And then we have a huge drop-off when we go into the Floridas, the Virginias, the Carolinas. We've had growth lately in the Kentucky and West Virginia. Indiana gets thrown off because when students apply to Indiana Bloomington for the business program or the sought-after Notre Dame acceptance, those kids, their application to acceptance to enrollment numbers are very, very high. It's fun to see. I hope you guys kind of take some time to analyze these numbers so that you can kind of sit down with your child and discuss with them what's your big picture here, okay? Do you want to stay within 2 hours, 3 hours? If you've been in a meeting with me, my discussion is, do you want to be a car ride or a plane ride? And that's going to determine what happens on weekends. That's going to determine what happens on holidays, how many holidays. But if you look at it, typically we stay fairly close, 3.5 to 4 hours, kind of east to west through Pennsylvania and Ohio. We remain in those types of schools, okay? In those windows, we have some amazing schools. We're very blessed to have that, okay? Evan? What about my kid, okay? I'm hoping you've had the discussion, or even tonight, this will prompt the discussion. Over the last 5 years, we have averaged 10.7 applications per student. Now, that's just an average. That gets thrown off by students applying to 15 to 25 schools. That is not necessary. The national average is a little bit over 6. This past year, we were starting to bring that number down to 9.2, which I was very, very happy with. Students are starting to now focus in and do the research and build appropriate lists that allow them to visit, parents to be comfortable. It makes financial sense, and they're happy with what they're going into. I think it's wins across the board for everybody. Why do we have more or less? There are schools that are perfect fits, okay? We have students that are like, you know what? Both my parents went to West Virginia. They were very happy there. They have a blast. We cheer on the Mountaineers every weekend. I'm going there. And that's a very attainable school for a lot of our students. It's a great school. Does it have a reputation at times? Yes. But what I tell the families is they still have class there. They still produce doctors and teachers and lawyers, all the things that we are going after. A big reason for students that apply to schools and have an inflated college list, lack of research, lack of visits, a lack of communication with the families. I could tell you a story, and I'm going to try to keep it short. I had a young lady when I first got here. I got here in May of 2023. Everybody in that class had already picked their schools. I pretty much was along for the ride for 30 days until I could start working with the class of 24. With that, I had a dad call me furious. His daughter was on the Common App and did not search for schools. She searched by state, which is a possibility. And she applied to every single school in Florida. You can laugh. She's safe, I checked. Okay? Average cost of an application is between $70 and $75. You can do the math. Dad showed up here furious. When it was safe to release the child to the father, after some counseling from me, it was over $3,000. That student didn't have a direction. She was grasping at straws. On the way out, the dad said, "You've never even been to Florida. Why would you apply there?" The idea is that you guys, myself, the counseling team, are discussing with the students what their goals are, where they want to apply, what types of programs you're looking for. The idea is communicate, communicate, communicate. Let me bear some of the stress on this. It's just you have to do your research on these. We can't sit back and hope that the chips fall in the right places. A reason also that if students are looking at athletics, that can work both ways. We can have students with very inflated lists due to athletics, or we could have students that apply to one school because that's where they're going, and they have a commitment there, they have an agreement, they have a scholarship, whatever it may be. The other part, I think I touched on a little bit, was unrealistic lists. Let's face it, we are a college prep school. A lot of our students, as you saw previously, do go on to college, okay? But college admissions right now, as many of you have probably seen, is very, very difficult, meaning we don't always know every year what the schools are looking for. We also don't know what type of seats that they have in each program, okay? This is researchable. You can look it up. Also, when you go visit, you can ask how many seats a year. I'll tell you right now, Penn State, very attainable for a lot of our students. Great school, bunch of different options there. There are certain programs there that only have 30 seats a year, okay? 2 of them would be the actuary science program and the nursing program. University of Pittsburgh's in the same boat. Pitt and Penn State's nursing programs are top 5 most difficult to get into in the country. Okay, now these are the little pieces that we need to kind of put together to make the big puzzle of your child or your students' college applications. How to avoid excessive applications. Visit the campuses, attend open houses, specialty days, build a rapport with the admissions rep. Okay, when you're there and you're touring, you're going to talk with the admissions people. You're probably going to get a student tour, student-led tour. When you're in that building, you need to be able to talk to the person that is handling this region, okay? Sometimes those people are in the offices. Sometimes they are regionally placed as well, okay? Example, University of Tennessee, they have a person that is stationed in Pittsburgh that does recruiting for Western Pennsylvania and Eastern Ohio. Get to know Kevin if you're interested in Tennessee. Get to know Kevin, build a rapport with him. Okay? Our local schools like Duquesne, even Penn State, we're one of the few schools that has a Penn State rep that is dedicated to us. Okay? You saw the numbers. We've put in nearly 400 applications in 5 years. We have Tony Moore who will help us out. My goal is to maintain the school's rapport with them. You guys, I can introduce you. Anytime they come to campus to visit, come in, shake hands, introduce yourself, reintroduce yourself. By the end of the process, they will know you by name, and then we continue through that process. The other part is to communicate. I'm a parent. Mr. Hoffman back there is a parent. There's going to be frustrations. There's going to be questions. There's going to be times that the kids will give you the North Catholic shrug. I don't know. I've got AP this, I got AP that. I got to worry about this. I got a football game this weekend. Whatever it is. I want to avoid that shrug. I want the communication to continue so that the kids and you are comfortable, okay? And whatever kind of assistance you need from your end, I'm here for you, okay? It could be as simple as, hey, my kid, working on the essay doesn't seem to be taking it serious. Give me an email. I can help with that, okay? A couple of the parents out front, before we got started, kind of building that positive peer pressure, okay? Kind of that natural anxiety that comes with it. I want, them to continue because their friend group is, succeeding. I don't want them to get left behind. It's a thing that we can do here, which is really nice because the kids are driven and want to be successful, okay? Ev? All right. You can sit there and you can make a big timeline. I like to simplify things, okay? Your timeline over the next handful, or your child or your student's senior year. There's 4 real dates I want you to kind of keep in mind, okay? 1 week from today, the Common App will open. That is the format that we apply to here, okay? There's plenty of schools on there. That's when it opens. Your child does not need to complete their application August 1st. Okay? I don't want to wait till mid-February to do it. Okay? So I create a fake deadline for your children. It is November, it's not November. It is November. November 1st. Sorry, I got my dates mixed up. It is November 1st. It is an arbitrary day. I just pick it because the kids can remember it. And I keep saying, you need to have your applications done by November 1st, November 1st, November 1st, November 1st. It coincides with a lot of early action dates, which I will go over early action and all that fun stuff. But the idea behind it is to have them prepped, ready. We're not dragging our feet. We're not over-reviewing our application or our essay. We are accomplishing our goals in a timely manner, okay? So most early action deadlines, November 1st is what we kind of set here. FAFSA applications, okay? I'll go over FAFSA, what it means. Is it required? Do you have to do this? But just keep in mind, it does open October 1st this year, okay? Yes, if you've gone through it before, you have a parent or a child in college right now, it has gotten delayed the last 2 years. We'll talk about ins and outs of that. Your child does not have to pick their college until May 1st. Take your time with that process. I may ask you at a basketball game or an event here, hey, has she picked her school yet? Or has he made a decision yet? All right? It's not a pressure thing. It's trying to figure out if you need anything, any assistance. But May 1st is the deadline to make those decisions. Unfortunately, that was also the same date as our prom this year. Okay? So we had kids making their commitments before prom. Parents were going to say, you're not going to prom until you make your decision. We had a handful of those. But it's, might seem far off, but it'll be here very, very quickly. Go ahead, Evan. Okay. Before we jump into anything else, every student here has Naviance. Okay? This is an online platform that each student gets a profile for. They can log into it. Many of your students have. If your student, your child, says, I don't even know what that is perfectly fine. They can come to me. You can come to me. I can get them into it. I can show them how it works. Okay? For the students, and when you guys get a copy of this in your email, the login link is right there. On there, you just click it. It's a live link for you. Students can do the following. They can research colleges and universities. They can create college lists. Starting August 1st, they can request letters of recommendation. Right now, Naviance, starting Monday through Thursday, will do an update. Your child, your student, will get moved to senior level. They are still listed as juniors. I don't control those dates. It's just how they operate. So come August 1st, they will be seniors in that system. Okay? This also allows them to manage their application documents. They can see what's submitted as well. Okay? On my end, I send out every type of documentation on your child, the school, transcripts, letters of recommendation, counselor's documents, etc. It is a document management system for me. If you had an older child and for some reason, something didn't get turned in, a lot of times schools, they have tens of thousands of applications, sometimes over 100,000 applications. They don't update things. I can assure you by taking a screenshot that has been submitted. Okay? And it gives you a date that it was sent, a date that it was received, a date that it was downloaded. You guys can be put at ease with that. Okay? Naviance is the key for our program. Okay? What we do, and we'll do this on August 1st, which is a Friday. It's a week from today. I'm able to take your child's or your student's Common App profile and link it with Naviance so they will communicate back and forth like an iPhone and an Apple Watch. So when they do something, I will see it. When they don't do something, I will see it, okay? My part of my communication with you guys, if something's off on there or there's an anomaly, I will probably reach out to you and send you an email. If the University of Tennessee is playing Alabama on college game day and there's a huge upset, and I have 7 young men apply to the University of Tennessee because of that upset, I will email you before the Steelers game on Sunday. Okay? That's a lack of research. That's a young person making a decision on what they saw on television or in March Madness. Okay? The idea is to keep you guys informed as well. Go ahead. Okay. The big one, Common App. This is something that costs no money. Every student can get on the Common App. It doesn't cost any money. I have the live link on there, so when you guys get this after this presentation, you can go take a look at it. Many of your students have started this already. We, as a class of 2026, have done a phenomenal job. Okay, I had over 35 kids on Tuesday come in for the workshop. I had to pull desks out of other classrooms. It worked brilliantly, and the kids have already started this process. Okay, we cannot submit on the Common App until August 1st, and many of them have gotten major sections done. Okay, There's more than 1,100 colleges listed on the Common App. There are application fees. If you've taken a tour or you've been given like a code for a free application, you could enter those into the Common App whenever it's kind of like time to check out on your applications. I do encourage you to please take advantage of that. Some of the schools notable that are popular with our students are Grove City is not on the Common App. Okay, you just have to apply through their website. Slippery Rock, any of the Penn West, Penn East, I think it's what it's called. Georgetown, they have their own Common App almost, and all the military academies have their own programs. Okay, when your child, your student, maybe applies to a Grove City or a Slippery Rock, and it's not on the Common App, it won't communicate that to my Naviance account, okay? We have to manually put that in there. It doesn't change anything. I can still use Naviance to send your child's documents out. It's just we have to do an extra step. They have to talk to me, okay? And say, hey, I'm applying to Grove City, right? The Common App program, ask your kid to see it, okay? Ask them to take a look at it. And many of you probably have gotten calls, text messages saying like, hey, where did you go to school? What's your highest level of education? All right. I get the emails. How many kids are in my class? 106. What's our grading scale? 4.0. But Mr. Bilstein, I have a 4.3. 4.0. Still 4.0. Please ask, okay? If there's anything on here, please do not hesitate to ask. Go, Dev. Okay. So when we're applying to schools, you're going to see a bunch of different terms. They can be confusing at times. I put a little thing on the bottom there. Some of the schools have unique titles, okay, for theirs. But essentially, they're all going to fit into these different categories here. All right, if you have a question about it, please don't hesitate to give me a call, stop in, email. If I don't know the answer or I'm not 100% sure, I'll just reach out to the school and be like, I get it. This is like an interesting way and a unique way to like label this. But please explain to me, is it early action, early decision, regular, or rolling? Okay? When we're looking at our schools and you're looking at your application, most of our students apply early action, okay? Meaning we have that roughly November 1st deadline. Some of them have November 15th, okay? Those are very common deadlines for that. Benefits are it gives you the most favorable position when applying. You're telling the school that you are important to me, you're in my top list, and I'm taking the time early to apply to that school, okay? All North seniors are encouraged to use early action on their application. You can apply to every school that has it. You can apply to every school early action. There's no limit, okay? You can do that, 9.22 average apps, and you can put them all into early action as long as they have it available, okay? The next one is a little bit of it has to be a determination, has to be a decision, has to be a discussion within your family, okay? It'll be early decision, or when I list it as ED, okay? It is the highest form of demonstrated interest. You can only apply to one early decision school, okay? The Common App will only allow you to do that. And when your son or your daughter or your student applies ED to a school, the application will prompt you to have the student sign a contract, you to sign a contract, and once that's done, it comes to my email, and I have to sign that you guys are aware of what an early decision application means. It is a decision that if you get accepted to that school, you are telling that school, I'm going to attend there, no matter what. You get one of these. Technically speaking, you are bound legally through contract to attend there. If there's a school out there that's the number one, this is going to give you the best opportunity for it. Nothing is guaranteed, though. So those merit scholarships, institutional scholarships, they may hit you with a full price to go there. It's a tough decision as a family, okay? If this is something you guys want to consider or you want to sit down and talk, please send me an email, okay? Regular decision. This is usually after the early action deadline. So this could be November 2nd, this could be November 16th, this could be December 16th. What this means is it just gives you more time to work on your applications. I know just by seeing the students and getting the emails and having kids just kind of pop in, going to the workshops throughout the summer, our kids don't necessarily need to, work on them a ton more, okay? There might be some, a school that pops up that maybe athletically or academically that you and your family were not aware of. Those are the ones we want to be regular decision, okay? Our number one choices need to be early action, okay? So if that's the top 3, top 5, top 6, we want an early action. If you are committed to a school and that has to be the school and you understand the biggest thing for me is the financial implications of an ED decision. Regular decision for us here at North is kind of like we're cleaning up a little bit, okay? We don't need to wait for that, right? Bigger schools will go with rolling admissions. Deadlines will vary. They sometimes don't even have deadlines listed, okay? Meaning, once they get X amount of applications, they will review them, all right? Penn State does this. They are rolling admissions. They do it by schools, okay? So if the business school gets X amount of applications, they're going to release their decisions as they get those and they hit certain thresholds of applications, okay? I'll tell you, Penn State releases their marketing and their their digital marketing or social marketing stuff very, very early. Their business school, very, very late, okay? Nursing, very, very late. Rolling, drawback is you may miss institutional scholarships or honors scholarships deadlines because the way that the applications roll in, okay? Sometimes we don't have a choice. We have to use rolling like a Penn State, but if we have the opportunity, we want to go early action, okay? One of the cool things that Mr. Cheese and I have started to kind of monitor, if you are looking at a very high-powered school or a very desirable school, and you apply early action, and maybe you're a borderline applicant, okay? With that, they can take you from that early action pool, and they can move you into the regular decision pool, so you'll get a second review under the regular decision. So by getting your application in earlier, it may help you, if you're a borderline student at that institution, to move from one pool to another. Okay, does that make sense? I hope it makes sense for the people online. So, like I said, schools have unique titles for these application processes. I can tell you, Wake Forest, beautiful campus. They have a bizarre early decision option. They have ED1, ED2, early action 1, early action 2, and then they have regular decision. So just understanding those processes, asking those questions. Please do not hesitate to ask if you need a little bit more clarification from me. I don't mind reaching out to the schools as well. Okay? Ev? All right. The components of your student or child's applications. Okay? The actual application form is located on the Common App. Okay? Or you can go to the school website. If you go to the school website, I do ask that you come in and let me know. I just have to change a couple settings on Naviance, and it'll run fine. All right. Official transcripts. I take care of those. Okay. The application form is your child or your student. I take care of the transcripts for you. This year, we had our transcripts out the Tuesday after graduation. I can tell you right now, there's nobody else that did that. All right. I take a very, very huge amount of pride in getting our information out to these schools early, and it keeps our families happy. They don't have to worry about it. Where's this at? Where's this at? It's taken care of. Here is the date I sent it. Here's the date it was received, and here's the date it was downloaded. Okay. Initial transcripts will be like mid-September. I used to work for the government, guys. Okay. When I say mid-September, it's going to be a lot earlier. All right? I've been married for 17 years too. So I will under-promise and over-perform, okay? I just say mid-September to keep everybody happy, all right? This year, our school calendar is a little bit different. Our administration helped myself out quite a bit. Our first semester will end before Christmas break. So over Christmas break, I will send out the mid-year reports to all the schools as well. Okay, so instead of waiting until mid-January, I will be able to take a day during Christmas break to send out the mid-year reports. Right? Final transcripts will be the week after graduation. My goal is to have those out as fast as possible. Okay? Transcripts, guys, just a fact that we have to live with. If there's a delay and you call me and say you haven't sent my child's transcript here or there, and I send you to the business office, they're being held. I don't know what it is. I don't ask. I just get a list. Hey, you can't send these out. Please contact Mrs. Sofer directly. I can't do anything until I get the go from that office. Okay? Transcripts are automatically sent out. Some of you have older students that came through here and they had to put in requests. We don't need to do that anymore. I just do it. Okay? If I have your child's transcript ready and your child has not applied to school, I will push it up into a cloud, and as soon as they apply, it'll come down and meet the application. Okay? So there's no stress with that. You don't have to hold your application for transcripts. You know, we live in the digital age right now. I know when a bunch of us applied, we applied on paper, and we met our guidance counselor for the first time in high school, and we got all of our documentation, put it in an envelope, and sent it off to our schools. Okay? Now we don't have to do that. I want your kids to finish your applications when they are ready. You don't need to hold them. Okay? I cannot give you copies of your official transcripts. Those who have met with me, I red stamp them on official. I can make the Lori McLaughlin joke from Full House about the transcripts. I'm not going to do that. I save that for my family meetings. But we cannot give you those. Once the transcripts are sent, and for some reason your child's applicant portal is not updated, email me. I will send you the screenshot that it was sent. You need to contact the admissions office directly. Okay? I don't have the access to update Duquesne's portal, okay, or Dayton's portal, or Coastal Carolina's portal. It's okay to call them and ask them, hey, do you have all my documentation? They'll say yes, or they'll say no. And then I will fix whatever needs to be done. Something very new in the last couple of years, the self-reported academic record. We just call it the SHWAR. And what it is your child is going to input their transcript into this program. Not every application has to do this. And they're going to generate an unofficial transcript for the school. Okay? Why they do it just puts everything in the same system for them as a college or a university. It does take a little bit of time to do. Okay? But it's a great study hall activity for some of our kids. They can come down, they can do it in my office, I can give them a copy of their unofficial, and they can just kind of alter it in there. All right? Some schools, it is optional to complete this, and in some schools, it was required. Okay? Penn State and Pitt, this is required. So if you apply there, you have to fill that out. The nice part is we can link them together, so you can have your Pitt self-reported academic record and your Penn State academic record could be the same document. Okay? You just add the schools to that. Okay? All right. Go ahead, Ev. Application fees. That is responsibility of the family. Please utilize fee waivers as they are granted when you go visit a school or you go to an event in Pittsburgh because, I don't know, the University of Florida came up and Miss Janine from Florida is up here putting on a presentation at somewhere down on in Station Square. She will give you a fee waiver. Okay, it's a good way to save $70, $75. All right. Letters of recommendation. They're requested by the student in person. So in April, we went over this. Then the student emails the person, and when I say person, the teacher usually, so they can write it over summer break. Okay? Students cannot request officially through Naviance letters of recommendation until August 1st. They're still listed as juniors. They can't request letters of recommendation officially. Okay? And we'll do that on August 1st and the subsequent weeks before school. If a student has a question about it, please come to some of those events or just stop in. When they put that in there, an email is generated and is sent to who they want. The teacher will then go into their Naviance account and fill out a survey, upload their letter, and then once they send it, it's good to go. We, you as parents, students, myself, we can track all of that, okay? We can see, and I'm going to pick on Mr. Hoffman because he's in the back. He's helping me out big time today. All right? I can see if Mr. Hoffman has not sent your child's letter of recommendation in yet, okay? I don't have a problem sending a nice email to Mr. Hoffman. I don't have a problem a week later walking to his office and asking him, please, can you do this? I don't have a problem waiting for him in the parking lot. No, okay. We as a school do very well with this. If your student or your child has a job, has somebody maybe at your parish or your church, and you want them to write you a letter, it's an outside person, they're not a North Catholic person, they don't have a Naviance account, we can still do those. I just need them sent directly to me, okay? And then I can put them into the system and kind of force those through, all right? Go, Dev. Secondary school reports and school profile, I take care of all that for you. No stress there. Common App essay. Many of your children and students have stopped by throughout the summer, come to some workshops that we've hosted. I think we had 3 of them. And then we're going to start next week with applications on August 1st and the following week as well. The essay is your child, your student's responsibility, but please don't be afraid to ask for help, okay? I know there's a handful of teachers, Miss Lips, or Mrs. Reynolds now, and Mr. Crawford have been working with students through email, revising their essays. A lot of students are coming in because I like to take some of their ideas and I like to kind of take a different perspective or a different angle on them. But your students thus far have done a very nice job. We need to continue that. The essay is probably one of the biggest challenges for our students. Our students love to revise their essays, all right? And they get very defensive of them, or they're afraid that somebody's not going to like it. We just want to make sure that they are read, reviewed, that it's a good topic that makes a lot of sense. But take advantage of the time coming up, especially before school. Supplemental essays, these are going to be based upon specific schools. All right. Some schools don't have any supplemental essays. Some schools will ask you to fill out 10 supplemental essays on various topics. Okay. I remember sitting with a student last year for Carnegie Mellon, and there was 10 supplemental essays of anywhere from 200 to 300 words. That might seem like a lot of work. It is. But to answer questions in 200 to 300 words 10 times over is very, very difficult, but it's going to vary. It varies by school what the application. Okay? Go, Dev. All right. Next part. They keep threatening to change all this stuff, and by they I mean the colleges and what their programming is going to look like and what their expectations for this. SAT and ACT. I've had this question of like, okay, what if I took the ACT? There was schools that want the SAT. Will they take it? Guys, it's six of one, half dozen of another. With that, you can submit either. Okay, if you have great scores, you can submit both. Most schools right now are sitting at a test optional level. What that means is you do not have to submit an SAT or an ACT score. It is not required. I like that to be a discussion between the family. I like to give my opinion, okay? And kind of give you an idea of what, for your child's GPA, what a SAT score should look like. And if you exceed that, even better. But the idea is you don't have to submit them. It is not required of the application to be considered complete. Obviously, there are schools that are still test mandatory. A lot of these are going to be schools in the South or top 20 or top 30 institutions around the country where they must submit SAT or ACT scores. You may or you may not see this. Penn State was supposed to go with this. This year, they backed out of it in June. A thing called test flexible or no harm testing. I think this will become a little bit more of the norm if I had to make a prediction. Applicants are required to submit SAT or ACT scores, but also if it hurts your application, they say that they will just dismiss those scores, okay? but you're required to submit those. How do you submit your SAT scores? I do not have them, okay? I can help your child, Mr. Chiza, Ms. Pearson, Ms. Z, Ms. Zizan can help out. We can help submit them. It is $14 a school right now on College Board to submit your SATs, okay? They have to go into their College Board account and they have to submit them, all right? I'll leave it at that. Go ahead, Ev. All right, here's one that a lot of people always have questions about. They want to understand it. It's a tough one because they've over the last 2 years have overhauled this system. I know there's been a lot of talk about student aid from the federal government. I can only operate with what we have right now. We call it FAFSA, or the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. It is supposed to open up on October 1st. It has been delayed multiple months the last 2 years. It's a completely online system. I did give you an active link up there. My biggest assistance with this is have your child, if it's something you want to pursue, please have your child make their account first, answer the questions, and then they can send you an invite. You will have to make your own account as a parent, okay? And ultimately what this is monies that are available based upon household income, okay? Dependents, number of dependents in college does make does affect this to a certain degree. But my best advice I can give you is sit with your child, have them make the account, watch what they're putting into it, and then have them invite you to it. If you would like to come in and do this with me sitting there, perfectly fine. I will help with the account. I'll get the parents connected, and after that, I will step out of the room so you can have the room to do whatever you need to do. Put in their financial information. I don't want to know it. I don't want to see it. It relieves me of that stress. But if that's something that you guys want to look at, I have no problem with it. It takes less than an hour. Okay? There are certain schools that FAFSA is mandatory that you have to complete, though. Okay? Most notably is probably Virginia Tech. That's how they determine their institutional age or institutional aid. Virginia Tech requires this for the completion of your application. Okay? There's a handful of schools like that too, but Virginia Tech is probably the one that affects us here at North the most. Go, Dev. All right. I'm not going to go through this, but these are the required documents that you would need to complete the free application for federal student aid. All right. Many of you already have this. It's mainly tax information and things like that, and just kind of personal documents like your social security number, things like that. Okay. Like I said, this will be in the slideshow that I send you guys. Okay. So you can take a look at that. Ev, go ahead. All right. Letters of rec, we kind of went over this. I just kind of want to give it its own slide. 2 to 3 is the suggestion, okay? If your child wants to go into be a physician's assistant, wants to go into occupational therapy or physical therapy, my suggestion is I want you to go after one of the science teachers that you have a good relationship with, you enjoyed their class. Then I want you to go for one of your core classes, maybe an English teacher or math, okay? When we pick our letters of recommendation, we want to be very strategic with it. We want people that maybe are experts in that type of field, but also I want to show well-roundedness of your student by maybe having an English teacher or a math teacher or a history teacher in there as well. Usually, schools will take anywhere from 2 to 3, so that's usually nice to have. Certain schools won't take them at all. Naviance will block us from sending letters of recommendation to specific schools that don't accept them. If schools take 3 and we try to send 4, Naviance will block that as well. It just keeps us from sending unneeded documentation to schools. Okay. Outside letters, like I said, managers, priests, coaches, etc., need to be sent directly to me. And towards the end of the school year, your students, I'm assuming, will be looking for outside scholarships. And they're going to want letters and things like that. I don't have a problem helping with that. Just coordinate it with me. I can assist with that. I will tell you the teacher letters I do not have access to, okay? So if Mr. Crawford writes a letter of recommendation for your child, I can see that the request has been sent. I can see when he submits it, but I cannot open the document, okay? That's that confidentiality piece. When we're doing scholarships in the spring, I don't have a problem helping your child, your student, reach out to Mr. Crawford and getting like an electronic copy of it so we can submit it for scholarships later. Okay? Good. Okay. All of our aspiring athletes, I put up their NAIA. I'm pretty sure our kids don't even know what that is, but I played in it for a couple of years. But NAIA or NCAA, they have clearinghouses. They want to look to make sure that your child or your student is eligible. They took the right amount of courses. Please be less stressed knowing that your child, by coming here to North and going through our program here in the 4 years, your child will be academically eligible for NAIA or NCAA. Okay? It is a student's responsibility to create an account in their clearinghouse. Counseling department, i.e. Mr. Chiza, will handle the transcripts, submissions, and if there is a coach, all right, that wants to take a look at your transcript, I do ask that you get me the email. I will then send a transcript over to them, okay? A lot of times they want to see an official, so it makes things very simple when you just get me an email and I can send it out and be like, hey, family reached out to me, glad to help. If you have any other questions, attached is their transcript thus far, okay? Good. All right, additional resources. Campus visits. This is a great way to build rapport with admissions reps. We have over 100 the last couple of years. Each year we have about 100 come and visit our campus. I get it. You guys have taken tours. You've seen different places. You've met the admissions rep. Come and shake their hands, introduce yourself, reintroduce yourself to these people. They'll do a presentation. The students are more than welcome to stay for that presentation. They are during the school day. If they have a test they cannot miss, they're in a specific class they have to be at, it is fine to shake their hand. I always have an exit door for them as well, okay? But I want them in there building that rapport with them. Individual meetings, it is perfectly fine. If you've already had a meeting, you want to have a follow-up meeting, you want to get your student in there with me and you as the family unit, just to make sure where we're at as far as progress. Are we up to speed? Things like that. Okay. Study hall. I don't care. Your kids can send me a smart pass. As long as I'm not meeting with a family, they can come and work on their college stuff with me. Okay. I want them to take advantage of that. If they have late arrival, which I think is a new thing we're doing this year, or early release, instead of leaving the campus, okay, or arriving late, they can come and spend time in the counseling area, either in a space or with me, working on their college stuff, okay? Too many times last year, I saw several students that didn't have their college stuff done, but they were real happy to get out after 7th period. The idea is, hey, get this done, then we can go forward with like the early release stuff. Students can send me the Smart Pass request. We can definitely make that work. All right. Kind of like my final piece up here. I think we're still good on time. If you have any questions, just ask, guys. There's no wrong questions. Some of you guys, this is your first time or it's been a while since your child applied, went to college. Just ask, okay? It is my job to kind of take that stress off of you guys, to motivate the students, but also I want to help you guys through this process, okay? There are students that, I'm part of every little step, and sometimes there's students and families that are like, hey, we just need this. Can you help me out? It's fine. I don't take it as an insult. I take a ton of pride in, having our students, when they graduate, have a plan before they walk across the stage, okay? I actually submit my stuff to the diocese the day before graduation, okay? Nobody else does it. I want to make sure that, all of our kids are handled. Nobody slips through the cracks, okay? With the live audience, I'm going to do a question and answers. For those on live stream, please email me your questions. I'll be glad to answer those over the weekend. And to everybody, I will send out this presentation to your students' email, okay? I don't have access to the parent emails. So I'll send it out to there. Please feel free to download it. I do ask you that it is a North Catholic document, okay? You guys have invested in your children's education. Please keep it within the North Catholic family. So I thank all of you, and that's about it.